Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back to the channel, SNS Customs Ltd. I've had an epiphany, and the older I get, the more I want to do stuff I'm interested in. So we're going to change the trajectory of the YouTube channel. It's going to be, from now on, focused on metal shaping and the tools involved with metal shaping and so on and so forth. Like the hammer, two hammers behind me. We got the big red one and we got this green one that we just are finishing up. These are two planishing hammers that I built recently for myself in the shop. I'll tell you a little bit about my experience with metal shaping. Back in 2010 to 2018, I really was like hyper focused on metal shaping and bought some really good DVDs and some books and literature that I still have and reference to this day when I'm trying to obtain a certain shape. But my window of knowledge is specifically with motorcycles, so gas tanks, fenders, oil tanks, some gas tank panels and stuff like that. So that's my window of knowledge with it. I know how to manipulate the metal to get the shapes I want for those parts that are going to have form and function on the bike. When you can control what your tins are looking like, you become like a pretty, for a lack of better terms, powerful type of builder. When you can build a frame and do all the tins and you can do all the fabrication work, it really dictates what you can project. So what you're seeing in your mind, if you have all the tools to get to that point, the finished product won't be far off of what it was in your mind. Maybe you make a few changes along the way. So you become, really in tune to building and stuff and line flowing and stuff like that as well. We'll get into in a later date. So for me, we built a lot of bikes from 2010 to 2018 that had heavy, metal shaped pieces, whether it was gas tanks, fenders, oil tanks, and etc. I kind of never fully got away from it. Like, I kept all my tools. I have a big power hammer that I'm going to show you guys later today. And today, just so you know, I'm just going to talk about planishing hammers and the power hammer and stuff like that. We can talk about English wheels and shrinkers and stretchers and bead rollers and stuff through some other episodes. So anyways, this is just my knowledge of what I know. You can shrink, stretch, bend, and cut metal. And once you know where to apply those principles, you can pretty much conjure up any shape you want. Some people use a buck, some people use what's called free forming without a buck, and a buck is indeed just a jig that's going to help you manipulate the metal and fit it up to the buck before it's tack welded and shaped. It lets you know that you're in the right vicinity for the panel, because a lot of this stuff isn't just made from one panel, it's multiple panels being put together to make the object, whether it be a fender or gas tank. So that's where the shop is heading, and I've always been fascinated by this, always been fascinated by fabrication and stuff like that. I've been doing it since I was a youngster, and with metal shaping or anything fabrication, you're constantly learning and evolving and learning new, not procedures, but new tricks and new know-how about how you're doing it. That's why I like it, because it's like going to school every day. I built a gas tank this way. Now I'm going to build the same gas tank this way. Two different ways. The outcome is the exact same, but you're constantly adapting and evolving for speed, accuracy, precision, and all that stuff too. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about this green hammer that I just finished. I'll give you a little walk around and stuff. I was testing it yesterday. It works awesome. We're gonna do a panel together just to show you what these can do. Then we're gonna talk about the big red hammer. And yeah, so I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'm gonna give you the walk around of the 14-inch, they're called Rapid Form hammers by SNS Customs. I will just touch base on this. We have built quite a few tools, English wheels and hammers for other shops in the eastern provinces, hot rod shops, car guys, and stuff like that. So it's fun to be able to build the tools and build pieces off that you're going to sell with the tools that you built with your hands, with in the shop and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to show you guys what's up with the green hammer, and then I'm going to give you a little rundown of the bigger, more rigid red hammer that's behind me. So stay tuned. Okay, we're back. So this is our SNS Customs Limited Rapid Form 14-inch deep throat hammer. This is a pretty versatile, really rigid tool, and allows you to get into some tight spaces and stuff like that when you're forming, like, high arch gas tanks. Maybe you have a tall gas tank and you need to planish out the welds. So I'll go over this hammer and what it's made out of. So it's made, the frame here is made from DOM tubing, which is drawn over mandrel tubing. And the thicker part here is 1.5 inches, 120 wall, and the 1.25 inches is 3/16 wall. So it's very stout. It's got 1/4 inch hot rolled steel brackets. It's got a 1/8 plate die holder. It's got a 3/8 thick hot rolled steel hammer holder, or hammer mount, if you will. The lower frame is 1.25 inch OD by 3/16 wall. So it's very, very, very stout. And the bottom, because this is a benchtop version, it can be mounted anywhere. The mount is made from 1/8 plate. So everything is really heavy and stout. It comes with a foot actuator. The cool thing I like about these is you can press it to activate the air hammer. And if you press down, it'll click and it'll stay on. You can take your foot off and then you click again and it shuts the air supply off. It's just normal air line you can get from any distributor. The dies are S7 tool steel. Same with the anvil. I'll get into how it works and how it adjusts and stuff like that. All the fittings are push-pull fittings, really convenient, easy to change, easy to install, and so on and so forth. So if we get into the meat and potatoes of the hammer, this is our design, and I will say everything is CNC machined and everything is made in the shop here. We don't outsource anything. We powder coat, we build them, we weld them, we test them, and we make sure they're working top notch. So this is our hammer. This can deliver 4,500 blows per minute, which is quite a lot, for metal shaping. We have a grub screw in here that pinches the barrel of the hammer, and then we have a grub locking screw here. We have a hammer strap as a secondary measure, so nothing can come loose. This is all bolted with grade 8 hardware, and this portion here is 1.25 inches, and it's machined from billet 6061 aluminum. We have our shim. The kits come with shims, so you can offset your barrel or your hammer. They come with 20 gauge, 18 gauge, 16 gauge, and 14 gauge shims. It comes with all stainless steel hardware. And the back here is quick adjust. This is a spring lock. So when you twist this guy, it's going to open and close these jaws. And there's a quick pull pin up here. It's just not in here now for quick tool changes. So you just pull your pin out, lift your jaws up, and replace your die. It takes about 10 seconds. So you've got your heim joints, you've got your adjuster. When you twist this, it's going to open and close these jaws like I just said before. And then when you're done twisting this and you've set your tension that you want here, you're going to lock it down with this spring lock. This is a spring-loaded lock that when you tighten it, this can't back off anymore. Because if this wasn't here, the vibration of the hammer would slowly open this up and your jaws would get wider and wider. So that's pretty much the walk around of the SNS Customs Rapid Form 14-inch hammer. Quite capable, really stout, super rigid. We are making a 24-inch one. That's what these tubes are going to be here. And we're going to hopefully have that done to show you guys in the next week or two. So yeah, I'll let you see the other side. It's just a really cool and powerful little hammer. We're gonna do a demo as well with it. So stay tuned. All right, next up, let's literally talk about the elephant in the room. This is the big red planishing hammer. I built this probably 2 years ago. I built the stand. This one is super, super rigid and works awesome. I love this hammer. It's my go-to hammer for pretty much most of my bigger work and stuff like that. And this guy that we just talked about is perfect for those small shops that have tight spaces and need a bench mount. This is on a stand. It is going to take up some space. The frame of this hammer is built from 2x4 quarter wall thick steel. Everything is heavy, heavy duty. We've got a double hammer vise here, and that's 1.25" billet 6061 aluminum. This one I hard piped. I may convert over to a foot pedal, but I like having the air valve right there because I can just shut it on and off, on and off. This one's outfitted with a pressure regulator because we need anywhere from 90 to 100 psi feeding this. This one has a air filter to trap moisture and any kind of dirt, oil maybe not so much oil because we have an oil feeder lubricating our gun up here. So that's what this is, an oil feed. So this is mostly for moisture. It's hard piped. Again, it's got a really deep throat. It can allow you to get into some really tight spaces. I like working with the smaller anvil here. It just gives me that much more room to move the metal around. So anyways, sorry, I'll talk a little bit more about it. This is your adjustment here, so you can adjust it to change the die and everything out. We've got a grease circuit here that greases up the threaded Acme threads on the bottom because they go through a pressed in bearing. But anyways, that's the bigger hammer, and I'll show you an even bigger one than that over in the other shop over there. But anyways, I built these two tools. They're lots of fun. They're exactly what I wanted, and they work perfect for me. We have built some for people in the past that come over that are metal shaping enthusiasts, and we've built them custom hammers as well. I'll be right back. Hey, what's up? I'm back. So the last Friday I started a project, and it got me thinking, you know, I really miss doing this stuff, so I'm going to focus more on the metal shaping aspect of everything. And I believe a lot of people have questions about it. They don't fully understand it, and they don't fully comprehend what can be done with just a little bit of finesse to the metal. Like, sometimes when you're trying to make the hardest shape, there's the easiest solution, like, you know, a hammer and dolly on a piece of round bar or square bar. We will talk about forming dies and stuff like that, because I have built quite a few forming dies to obtain a shape. Our oil tank halves have like a derby, they have a rippled, really cool effect, and people are always like, how did you get that shape so perfect? And we have a full machine shop behind me. I'm blessed to be able to have that, and we built a lot of forming dies. Anyways, I'm going to show you what I made the other day. So I started a gas tank, and this is the beginning of it. This is the top of it. So you can see there's lots of shape there. So this is kind of like a chopper tank. It's going to be mounted to the frame we have in the fixture behind me. I know you can't see it, but you can see the two tubes there. So this took about an hour to shape, just to shrink up the top portion and stuff. And then we went and I cut my side out. So this is going to be my side profile of the tank. It's got a nice arch in there, and alls we've done to this, and alls we basically are going to do to it is this. We've just roll bent this. That's going to be the front portion of the tank. We still have to trim it, but when you get the two pieces together, let's see if I can do this. It forms really nice. It's going to be a really nice chopper tank for that project. Still a little bit of shaping and cutting to do, but we're pretty close. Pretty close there. So this is almost ready to be tacked up. And we'll planish the welds, and we'll get it fitting up nice. But this is the kind of stuff that you can do. You know, this kind of stuff here. So this panel's just about ready to be tacked to the other two pieces. The piece that I just showed you, the side, we have a left and right hand side. So that's the kind of stuff you can do, and that took about an hour. And knowing where not to hit is just as important as knowing where to hit, because you can kind of set your work back if you're hitting in a spot that you shouldn't be stretching or shrinking, or, you know, specifically stretching. That's probably what I do, overstretch, and then I've got to fix it by shrinking it and stuff like that. But anyways, that's a panel shaped. That took an hour the other day. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to hook up the 14-inch hammer and give you guys a little demo. I'm going to cut up a piece of 18 gauge. I'm going to put some dents into it, and I'm going to show you what planishing and stuff does to the metal, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to, we've got the hammer hooked up to air. So if we hit this trigger down here, the air hammer will engage. We've also have a sandbag and mallet. We're going to put some dents into the fender, or not the fender, sorry, the pieces of metal we have. And I'll show you how to planish them out. This is a must-have tool for every metal shaper, your sandbag and mallet, or a stump or whatever. So you see some guys using a stump and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to put some dents in the metal, and we're going to stretch the metal a bit. All right, we're back. Just for everyone's information, this is 16 gauge 5052 aluminum. Good stuff to work with, good stuff to build gas tanks. If I was building a gas tank, I'd go a little thicker than 16 gauge. There's some 100 wall stuff you can get that's just less than 1/8 of an inch. And when you anneal that, it comes out beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on one spot. I'm gonna hit it with the hammer, and then I'm gonna planish it out. So hang 10. I'll show you first the dents and stuff that we're gonna make. We're actually gonna stretch the metal. All right, we've obliterated that. Kind of looks like a potato chip, but we're gonna smooth all that out in a minute. So looks like what we've done is damaged it, but we didn't. I'm gonna hit it a bit more, and then I'm gonna put it through the hammer. Forgot that was there. All right. Next up, we're going to run it through the hammer. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. Just in that couple of minutes, so you remember the dents I put in? They're all smoothed out. So when you're hitting it with a hammer, you're stretching the metal. And there's ways to shrink the metal as well. Like sometimes when you're stretching it, you're spreading the molecules out thinner. So when you hit a hammer, the reaction is it's kind of like it's flattening but spreading out the metal. So for every action, there's gonna be a reaction with this stuff. So you may have seen me shifting from side to side and stuff on the hammer here that in the little video we just did. I know it was a time lapse, but kind of hard to see, but to kind of get the crown even on both sides. One side maybe stretched more than the other, which could cause a contortion or something in your steel and stuff like that. But that little bit of time, that's already starting to take the shape of a fender. Now, if I was going to build a fender, I'd probably do it on the big power hammer out back. I'll show you guys that one in a minute. But just that little, I don't know what it was, a minute, maybe 3 minutes, that got that out and is almost taken the shape of a fender. It's got sides, and if you really wanted to get fancy, you could tip the sides, fold them over. We have some rollover dies on the bead roller, and you can make this stuff look really nice and presentable. If you're an artist and you're just doing artwork, bead roller's a good thing for that. So anyways, just that little bit of time, we got that. We got all the hammer marks out. Next up, I'm going to do a blister in the metal. So what that means is I'm going to raise just the portion I want raised in the middle of the metal, just to show you how well the hammer works. Another thing I will mention is as you're working your metal and you're stretching it, guess what's happening to it? It's getting thinner. So you may want to adjust your tension on there. You don't want these really tight. I always want about anywhere from like an eighth, this is just for me, an 1/8 to 3/16 gap there. I find I get good results with that. You may have noticed I sprayed some WD-40 on. That just acts as a lubricant to slide between the dies, but we got a nice round kind of 3D dimensional piece right there. So that's aces, man. That's A1. That's what we're trying to do. So next up, blister. Be right back. Stay tuned. All right, so I think it was 3 minutes and we've got a nice raised blister. You can really see the indentation. That's 3 minutes of working that little rectangular area. So super fast, super efficient way to smooth out and get shapes you want. The other tools that I would use in conjunction when I'm building a gas tank, I basically use all my tools. I use my sandbag, I use my hammer and dolly, I use my English wheel, I use the big power hammer next door, which I'm going to show you next, and use basically everything to get the shape I want, because some tools are good at some things and then other tools will allow you to get into the nitty gritty little parts. But anyways, there's you can actually see, and what happens to our sides now? Our sides kind of deform. So now we're going to straighten out the sides. We've stretched the metal. Now I'm going to show you how I shrink it on the big power hammer. And there's other ways to shrink it and stuff like that. You can use tuck forks. You can use thumbnail shrinking dies on a power hammer. You can use a shrinker. A lot of shrinkers have stretchers. You change out the jaws, you change them to shrinking jaws, or you change them out to stretching jaws. But for today, we're going to go over and show you the big hammer. And I think I have the thumbnail shrinking dies in place. So let's go check it out. All right, so this is the big kahuna. This one moves metal super fast. There are some restrictions with it, but not too much. I built this hammer probably 5 to 6 years ago with my father. We built the pedal stool and everything, and we got the guts and everything from another supplier. So this thing will move metal quickly. You can see there's thumbnail shrinking dies, sorry for the bad camera work. We have it hooked to a frequency drive, so a speed controller. We have a big motor on top. We've got all these working components that need to stay lubricated. And this is basically what's going to happen here. And you can control the speed with your foot pedal. Again, another powerful, very, very useful tool. I start all my gas tanks on this. I've even shaped 1/8 plate on this. And I've made dies for it, for fender tipping and stuff like that. So very, very good, powerful tool. I'm going to show you how we're going to shrink with it. Be right back. All right, so that was the big blue hammer, and we've shrunk out our ripples, like it was kind of potato chipped from the blister we put in, and now we're shrinking this edge, so now it's getting more curvaceous. And the thumbnail shrink and die will leave ripples, so you can planish those out with the planishing hammer. And we're gonna do just that, and I'll show you what happens when that happens. All right, well, with just a few minutes of planishing, we got all of our shrinker marks out of the aluminum. We've got some nice contour. We've got a blister there, and you can really finesse this the rest of the way with a hammer and dolly, depending on how nice you want your metal work to look for the painter. Anyways, there's all the marks out. Blister, concave there. So really it's unlimited, and you're only limited by your imagination as to what shapes you want to obtain. And when you're first starting off, like I was, I never knew what to do to get the shape. I didn't fully understand shrinking and stretching and stuff like that. Now I can comprehend the shrinking and stretching portion to obtain the shape that I want. And still, you know, it takes me to school, so because like it's gratifying when you have something that works out, but it's also frustrating. But the frustration is not so bad, because you can change the direction you're going in and start working the metal from a different angle, or doing the, you know, maybe tucking, shrinking, stretching, bending, or cutting to correct your mistakes. You can over fatigue the metal, that's for sure. It can be too thin and stuff like that, but you know, that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun. I plan on doing more videos like this. This is what I love to do. We're wrapping up the 64 pan head. It's just about ready for tear down, paint, powder coat, and chrome. I will do a little video on that, and then I'm excited to work on the next project that we're building this gas tank for, that I showed you earlier. It's going to be a fun project to put together. So if you liked the content and stuff, please hit like and subscribe. Help me grow my channel. We all learn together, you know, and we're all looking for the best possible outcome when we're fabricating, and the quickest route to get there. So if there's any experienced metal shapers out there, you know, or anyone that, even novice, or someone that's just thinking about getting into it, drop a comment, leave us a like and subscribe, and yeah, keep chopping, keep doing stuff, keep staying busy, and take care. Thanks for watching.